Good evening, everyone. Started out on a Wednesday that I had to go see my kidney doctor up to Penn. I woke up with this thought on my mind and I just didn't know where it came from because this had happened a long time ago. And that's the thought that I want to share with you guys. Me, my wife, and my two kids, we had planned this trip to go to Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. At that time, it was up in Philly. And we got everything ready, got the car packed and everything, had snacks and all that stuff, and left the house. We left with the windows open, and we had clothes on the line because it was hot. We didn't have any air conditioning, so we left the windows open with the screens in the window. So we got in the car and we started riding, and we got up around Odessa, and my two sons were in the back singing, "Oh, it's going to take a miracle. Oh, it's going to take a miracle. Oh." And about the third or the fourth time that they said that, I was in the passing lane, and the other driver was in the right-hand lane, and this guy just decided all of a sudden that he's going to pull right over, and he didn't even look to see, if anything was in front of him, and he was almost like right beside me, so I didn't have any choice but to pull over in the green area, So that's what I did. I pulled over in the green and probably going 60 miles an hour, and I pulled over there, and and took my time and put my foot on the brakes, I didn't hurry up because I didn't want to slip and slide and turn all around. And we came to a stop, because I got out of the way of that driver's and then let them go. And I didn't want to get right back on the road, so we came to a stop, got ourselves together. And then I turned around and looked behind me, and then there was like this cement, just like this drain pipe or just drain, and there was a little drop afterwards, and it looked like we rode right over that, and we rode straight with everything was smooth, no dips, no nothing. Even when I hit the brakes, everything was smooth. So we got back in the car and tried to finish our trip. We got up to the circus, and we had a really great time, Everybody enjoyed the circus. Even I enjoyed it because I had really, myself, I'd only been to small circuses. I've never really been to see a big circus like that, So it was, it was a good family outing, So we started on our way back home, and it was the same place right around Odessa on the other side of the road that we noticed that a couple branches were down. And then when we got up there past that Sunoco station where that red light is at, we looked over and we saw this big tree, a couple big trees, and some limbs and everything, all down all over the place. And the further we rode, the more we saw, So all we could think, was, when we get home, it might not be pretty. So when we got to North Street, that's where we make our left-hand turn to go off on Delaware Street. And we looked straight down on North Street because that's where my cousin lives. And there was this great big tree that had fell right on top of their car. I mean, crushed it, we're not home yet, So we get home, jump out, run in the house, because we had left all the windows up, all the screens were in, all the window seals were dry, And I had told you earlier that when we left, my wife had left clothes on the line, So we know it was a lot of wind, and the storm and everything, and all the clothes were on the line. And sometime after we got settled, we got a call from one of our friends or somebody and said, where you guys been at? We've been calling you, trying to let you know about the storm. We didn't have no cell phones at that time. It was a while ago. Yeah, it's probably over 35 years ago at least, And they said that the trees, the leaves were flying and mud was flying, and that they had mud in their house, from where they had, left their windows open. And like I said, ours was completely dry. So that's the thought that I woke up with. Now remember, I said that was the day that I had to go up to Penn for my kidney doctor's appointment. So I got myself ready and got in the car, started up to Penn. Traffic started getting heavy out on 95, and I just started, shifting lanes, trying to see which lane was moving the best, and it looked like the far right lane, the closer we got up there to where you exit off to go to Route 1, the closer we got, it looked like that lane was moving the best. So I pulled over in there, and it wasn't that many cars behind me. I looked behind me, and there was a car, but it was way back there, And then I looked up front, and this guy in front of me is slowing down. So I started slowing down, and then all of a sudden he looks like he's going to stop. So I just stopped, because I had enough space to stop, It wasn't a sudden stop, but it was a good stop, So then I looked back in the mirror because I remember I saw this car coming, behind me. And this guy behind me is barreling on, It's like he can't see my brake lights or whatever, And he's just coming and coming. And then all of a sudden you can hear him when he hits his brakes, Just all the noise and everything, And he hits his brakes, and then he realizes that he hit them too late. So he pulls over on the other lane, on the side of the road. He pulls over there, and he comes right up about halfway to my car. And then that's when the traffic started moving, And I said, oh, man, that was a close one. That was a close one, So I get up to my doctor's appointment, and get in the office, and, the doctor comes in. She speaks to me. I speak to her. And she said, Mr. Johnson, she said, I think I already went over your test results. And then just as soon as she says, I look at her and I say, And then she said, you know what? No, I didn't go over them. I know I didn't, So then she says to me, just out of the blue, she says, Mr. Johnson, about 1.5 years ago, your kidney function was like at 19%. And we were almost ready to put you on dialysis. And she said, right now, the last 2 tests that you just took, because my heart doctor and my kidney doctor had repeated some of the same tests, And she said, the last 2 tests you took, your kidney function was at 30%, and the other one, it was at 29%. And I just said to myself, I said, thank you, Jesus, Now, I know to some people, you kind of think, that all these things are a coincidence or whatever, But do you think that all these, that the things that I just said to you, do you think that they actually happen by chance? Well, I choose to believe that it was God. And I'm going to leave you with that thought, because I want you to think about it, And I want you to think back about times when things in your life didn't seem to be going right, and all of a sudden they straightened up and you don't know how it happened. Have a good day.